to create a place where we can all live together and grow our own food and be as self-sustaining off-grid as possible. So we're thinking to buy some land and then have the people who are like our kind of hosts in the community. We all have our own houses. We actually live there, raise our kids there. And then the front part of it can be a retreat center. So they can come for different retreats, experiences that we want to organize. But it's also a funnel for people to come see, like, come look at what we're doing and build this wherever you go. You know, like, because I think that this is the beginning of a big movement. I think we're going to be one of thousands of people who are either thinking of this now or want to do this in the future. And I would love for way more of these to happen. So I think it's important to just keep encouraging each other to keep growing.
Welcome to this new episode, and today I am here with Brittnee. How are you, Brittnee?
I'm amazing. Thank you for having me.
Very good. So Brittnee is the co-founder of the Remote Collective, which is a very lovely space in Koh Phangan, and I can say it's probably one of the the hottest places at the moment, with many events. And it's very interesting to see, you know, what is your background and how you came to create this beautiful space. So can you tell us a little bit more about your journey in life?
Yeah, my background, I've always been a part of a big community growing up, and then I went into corporate law. So did that, and it was really nice to learn all of that. And then I was like, no, I need to go back to my roots of community and traveling. I love traveling. So I left working in a law firm. I worked there for 6 years, and then I built a travel company for people who work remotely. This is back in 2015 when no one really knew what digital nomads were. And we traveled around the whole world with our group. And then while I was in each location, co-working spaces were just being launched and communities were just being launched, and I would help consult for them and do all those things. And then I landed in Chiang Mai, Thailand, which is in the north of here. And they are kind of what we call the mecca of digital nomads. Like when you're first starting your digital nomad remote working journey, people go to Chiang Mai because it's super easy. It's really cheap. Everyone speaks English. It's just like really easy transition. So I ran the co-working space there for 3 years and was just kind of did festivals, organized festivals, did many retreats, lots of things. And then when COVID hit, I was actually in Cape Town going to Africa Burn, and I made it a lot of countries before it locked down, but then I was like, I need to go back home, and I wanted to try out Koh Phangan, and I've been here ever since. I just loved it so much. I fell in love, and I love the water, living by the sea. We're on an island, a tropical island, so it's paradise.
It's so nice. It is a bit of a difference compared to a city. I mean, Chiang Mai is a very manageable city. Still is a city. I was here, we live in a village pretty much.
Yeah.
And how is it living in a village for you?
I love it. I love going outside and, you know, just bumping into everyone you know. It feels like a really welcoming, warm community of people. I think that's also the thing, is like there's such amazing people here. And then nature, there's so many things to do. There's waterfalls, you know, anything you want to do in the water, snorkeling, scuba diving, lots of fun adventures. So I feel like there's so much to do that I'm never bored here.
Awesome. So you said COVID came and you moved to Koh Phangan and you found this beautiful house. And you just turn it into a event space, basically.
Yeah, so last summer we had a huge villa and we were doing a lot of events there, and we're always like, my partner Andy and I are always building community. He also has run a lot of co-working spaces and communities. And so when we came into this house this year, we just started doing events like in our living room, and then they became so popular. We did community dinners where people would come, like 25, 30 people, we'd all cook food together, and then we did a sharing circle where we'd all share. And that happened every week for 6 months. So that became such a tight-knit group of people, and we were like, how can we scale this feeling of community? How can we make this so more people, because we had a waiting list of like 60 more people that wanted to join. I just had to, I couldn't fit everyone. And then we thought, well, what if we moved out and like just try it, just see, like, and make it into a community space, and then have other people come host events. So it's not just us, it's like a whole group of people. And now that's what it is. We have 2 or 3 events there every single day, and we have like at least 10 hosts. We have a whole volunteer program. So it's a full, thriving community hub.
That is lovely indeed. I was there like a couple of days ago because of the stand-up comedy evening. I really enjoyed with a couple of friends of mine, Alan and Sagi also performing. And then I was there like volunteering briefly during the nursery hours in the morning. And yes, also I've heard of this Pax fundraising event, which was very successful. So it's really a lovely space and it's so easy just to walk in there and feel at home and feel comfortable, right?
Yeah,
so you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you. We want it to be a home base for people. So when they first come through, they can land, get their community, and then we want it to use it as a hub to help all the nonprofits in the area. So that's our like level 2 is like the level 1 is fully supporting a remote working or expat community, I guess, you know. So we have stuff for kids, teenagers, parents, and also all of us 20 to 30 something year olds. And then the level 2 is using that whole network to help our community projects. So like he was just mentioning, we did a fundraiser for our local animal shelter, and in one day we were able to raise over $1,000 for them. Just making like we made up a flea market where people came and donated stuff, people bought that stuff, and then we donated all the money to the animal shelter.
That's lovely, and you know it's very interesting because you know from corporate law to like hosting community events is quite a bit of a change. I mean, as a growing up teenager and a young person, would you just naturally just get people together, or is something you developed later in life?
I always say there's two parts of me. My dad is a very big entrepreneur, owns a very successful company. My mom is like making everyone a pie and like always hosting things. So I think I'm a blend in the middle. And I'm really grateful for my business background because I do business consulting and it helps me pay my bills. And then also using all that skill set to fund this, because a big limiting belief I had was that I had to make money over here and then put it into the community. And now I'm realizing that if we all come together, we want to turn it into a social enterprise. So we can raise money and it can be a very sustainable, fulfilling thing, but we can funnel all that money into like amazing community stuff.
That's lovely, you know, you have this great energy and you actually make things happen. People come together, it's very good, you know, it's a skill and it's possibly a talent as well. And, but I'd like to learn a little bit more about yourself. I mean, what are your passions in life apart from, you know, of course, gathering people and doing community events?
I love anything related to water. I'm like a mermaid in the water. And I've always wanted to learn to DJ. So I love music, I love dancing. There's also a major reason why I love throwing parties is I just love dancing myself. So I'm in the middle of like learning to DJ, and yeah, I just love traveling. Like in the last 7 years before COVID, I went to over 50 countries. Like I love traveling and learning new experiences. So I'm always up to something. I love designing things, so for a while like I was making all of my own clothes, and I would like to make a whole line of kimonos that have like affirmations on the inside, so when you wear them, I have so many ideas. It's just like checking one thing off the list and then there's 5 more that I want to do.
Sounds great. So tell me a little bit more about your future plans with regards to yourself and of course the space. Yeah,
so the space right now is sustainable, it's working, and I'm so excited for that. And my immediate reaction is like, what can we do with this? So phase 2 of like bigger plans for the space is we're thinking to take over a hotel. This is kind of, I think you were mentioning this before, we've done pop-ups in hotels where we put our brand in partnership with them, and then they give us like a couple floors of the hotel, and when we did this in Chiang Mai, it was super fun. And so we're thinking to do that again, where people can we can take over hotels, so when people are new to the island, they can come stay with us, have a whole experience with us, and then from there drop into the community. And then on top of that, we're thinking to build an eco-village here.
Wow.
So, yeah, we have investors, so I've been spending a lot of time looking at land.
That's lovely. Like you have investors already, like it's a concrete plan, yeah?
Yeah,
wow.
I wouldn't be, I'm really careful about what I talk about because I really believe in manifesting. So the fact that I'm telling you is because it's actually happening. I think that my biggest thing is like all my things that I've always wanted are coming true.
It's amazing, you know, as you said, maybe this transmission from your parents, the entrepreneurial side and the caring side together is a great combination. So what is the eco-friendly village?
So our goal is to have it, I think this is in the collective consciousness, like a lot of people are getting this idea at the same time, is to create a place where we can all live together and grow our own food and be as self-sustaining off-grid as possible. So we're thinking to buy some land and then have the people who are like our kind of hosts in the community, we all have our own houses, we actually live there, raise our kids there, and then the front part of it can be a retreat center. So They can come for different retreats, experiences that we want to organize. But it's also a funnel for people to come see, like, come look at what we're doing and build this wherever you go. You know, like, because I think that this is the beginning of a big movement. I think we're going to be one of thousands of people who are either thinking of this now or want to do this in the future. And I would love for way more of these to happen. So I think it's important to just keep encouraging each other to keep growing.
Indeed, indeed. And also I think we are at a stage in society where potentially new forms of co-living are going to be more relevant. I think lots of people, I used to live in London, and you know, people of my generation would stay in their single bed, you know, like maximum 2-bedroom flats, spending a lot of time with themselves if they were not working. And this kind of like a lifestyle, it can be very taxing on the individual, both physically, but particularly psychologically and emotionally. And there is, I think, a crave for more genuine forms of sharing your life with others, because ultimately the connection with fellow human beings, I mean, it's one of the most wonderful things you can have, right? Being connected, being, you know, sharing experiences with people. So I totally resonate with what you're saying and what you want to do. It's a beautiful thing. And with regards to growing your own food, I mean, there's lots of potential for organic agriculture in Koh Phangan. I think there's very little agriculture. And
yeah, and I have some friends that I attracted to the island who are heads of permaculture worldwide for different things. So like everyone, I feel like this island attracts people who need to be here, and we're all kind of going towards this new direction of community and I think going back to kind of tribalism, what we originally were in our roots and our DNA, to have that space and freedom to be your own person, but you're also part of something that is sustainable and really beautiful. Like it gives back in a very beautiful way, you know? Like it's something you want to be part of. Not like societies that we have now and we're like, you know, there's not a positive feedback loop, but this would be a really beautiful thing.
Sure. You know, I'm also optimistic for the future, despite, you know, the difficult couple of years we had, let's say, you know, and let's hope that we can indeed like do projects like that and get more beautiful people in Koh Phangan and live all together. Wow, what a dream.
Yeah, I mean, let's do it. Come join us.
Very good. Well, Brittnee, thank you very much for sharing with me today. It's been very interesting to get to know you a little bit more, yeah?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.